Hi everyone, and welcome to another e-learning video class. This is Tony Brancatella, and this time around we're going to look at what is your learning style. Do you know your learning style? Would it be visual, would it be auditory, or would it be kinesthetic? That's a hard word to pronounce, kinesthetic. So learning styles really are influenced by our own perceptions, how we see things, how we do things, how we react to things, how we feel more comfortable in doing certain things. So we all address life and reality and what we see, all our experiences differently, and how we react to these. We don't always retain what we see and what we hear. Sometimes we retain more what we touch, or a combination of two or even of the three. So we really tend to classify, or select I should say, and eliminate info based on that. So we select what information we like the most. If it's visual, we select to watch more or retain more what we see than what we hear or what we touch. In general, numbers read out this way. Visually is 65%, auditory is 30%, and kinesthetic is 5%. So let's look at them. Visual learning style uses visual objects such as graphs, charts, pictures, and seeing information. I think you would have a pretty good understanding of if you have this style. If you are a graphic artist, you would have a visual learning style. Visual learning style has a very high perception level when it comes to nonverbal communication. So they could read body language very well and have a good understanding of the aesthetics of what surrounds them. They're able to memorize and recall various information, overall what they see. They tend to remember things that are written down. They don't actually remember the words. They actually remember the picture. They picture what they see, even if it is words, and they tend to remember it that way. And they're also very sensitive to facial expressions. Like I mentioned earlier, they have tendency to look at nonverbals and read your body language very well. So, is your learning style visual? Do you turn notes into pictures? Do you draw charts or need maps all the time to look at where you're going? Do you learn a big picture first and focus on the details? And if you look at the big picture first, focus on the details, your style will be visual. Do you make mind and concept maps instead of outlines? This would be a little bit more about more details than on that. That the concept maps are really just not look at the outlines of certain things, but really the concept of what is going on. Do you color code parts of your new concepts in your notes? Concepts could be ideas. So you color code them when you take notes, and just to identify them clearly. So a lot of people use the little stick-ons where they need to focus on the colors, and each color for them represents something. Or would you have an auditory learning style? Now, auditory learning style retains information through hearing and speaking. They notice different aspects of speaking and tones. Especially on the phone, they will pick up the tones, and they will pick up the nonverbals on the phone too. So silence for them plays a very big part when it comes to learning style. They often has talents in music, may concentrate better with music playing in the background, always have an understanding of what that is, or they will love to listen to audiobooks in this case also. They really like to listen to audiobooks and instead of actually reading them. So, is your learning style auditory? Do you record lectures and then listen to them later? A lot of people do this. They feel a lot more comfortable recording lectures and listening to them later. Do you repeat words to yourself that you need to express, or material out loud or do you paraphrase certain things you hear into your own words and make it more comfortable? Do you discuss materials in your study groups? Do you have a voice? Do you like to express your opinions and to be heard? And auditories love to be heard. They love their own voice. That is true. And of course, like I said earlier, textbooks read out loud or listen to audiobooks are very important for auditory learning style. The last learning style is kinesthetic. Now, kinesthetic is a tough word to write, tough word to say, and really simply though, it means learning takes place by carrying out physical activities rather than listening to a lecture or watching demonstrations. So they really have to touch things to actually learn how they are. Hands-on approach to new materials, like to use their hands and touch and feel something instead of actually just looking at it or in many cases listening to it. Very good in science, very good in math, and would also rather demonstrate how to do something rather than verbally explain it. So if you know someone that always shows you how to do things, are very good in mechanics, they'll fix your car, or very good in the garden. These are very kinesthetic learning style people. Usually prefers groups more than others. They love to get their hands dirty, but love to work with people and love to shake hands. Kinesthetics really do not look for the nonverbals. They really look to touch and come close to you. So is your learning style kinesthetic? Learn new material while doing something active? Do you multitask? You read a book while you're on a treadmill, let's say? Or would you read the manuals? Would you actually read manuals? Would you be one of those persons that picks up the manual and really wants to know how things work? And would you always be very active? Would you work while you're standing? It would be very close to what learning style kinesthetics would do. And they like to do that, work while they're standing. And they love to demonstrate how things work and always be out in the field. They are not the ones that would be in the office running PowerPoint presentations. They're the ones that will be out in the field and showing you how things work. So here's a little exercise for you to self-assess what learning styles you have. I attached this exercise in Google Classroom, but I will also go through the questions right now just to take a look at them to have a better understanding of what they are, and you can go through them with me also. So there's 30 questions in all. Let's take a look at a couple of them first. So choose the answer that most represents how you generally conduct yourself. So choose A, B, or C. So number one would be, when I operate new equipment, I generally read the instructions first. B, listen to an explanation from someone who has used it before. Or C, go ahead and have a go. I can figure it out as I use it. So choose A, B, or C. The second question would be, when I need directions for traveling, I usually A, look at a map, B, ask for spoken directions, or C, I follow my nose and maybe use a compass. So those are the type of questions. There's 30 of them. I will just go through them now, and you can pause and take a look at them and read them, or again, in Google Classroom you do have the actual exercise. So here we go. Great. So I hope you had a chance to pause and take a good read on every single one. And again, like I mentioned, the actual exercise also, I made you a copy in Google Classroom. So simply just choose A, B, or C on the actual 30 questions or 30 situations, And after that, basically just add them up, add your A's, add your B's, and add your C's. So if you chose mostly A's, well, you have a visual learning style. If you chose mostly B's, you have an auditory learning style. And C's, if you chose mostly C's, you have a kinesthetic learning styles. So now in all these learning styles, people commonly have a main preferred one. As you can see, you have probably a main preferred one. But this will also be part of a blend of all three. Of course, we do use all three learning styles. We do have a very strong preference for one, but we do have a mixture and use all three. So when you know, though, your preferred learning style, you understand the type of learning that best suits you. And it enables also you to choose the types of learning that works best for you. So there is really of course, no really wrong or right learning styles. It really just is depending upon you. So there really is no right or wrong learning style. So learning styles really is an important aspect to work in sales, all levels of sales, and to have a good understanding of all three learning styles really helps you understand also yourself and also being able to understand the customer. So a good combination of three is definitely needed to be successful in any sales environment whatsoever. So great. That's about it for the learning styles. Like I said, the actual exercise is attached in Google Classroom, so you can use that, or you can just simply answer the questions as you saw them on video, and just choose the ones that you have and add up your scores. Great. Thank you, and talk to you soon.